right, happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back. I want to go over my Elliott-Wave count and also take a look at some heat map stuff today. So let's dive right in. All right, so as promised, I said that I was going to look over my Elliott-Wave count for the bullish side and go over that with you today. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So on the larger time frame here, let's take a look at just the daily time frame first, just to get a better idea. So I'm basically calling this entire thing an impulse here, right? There's no doubt in my mind that this structure right here, this wave 1 to 5, that this was an impulse. Even on this daily chart, you can see that this is a 3-wave correction into a 2. We had another impulse up into a 3. 1 and 3 are about the same length, which leads me to think that 5 could potentially be extended if this is the correct count. And then I've got this as basically a long flat correction. So long flat corrections are pretty typical of wave 4s, and I've been seeing some alternate counts where this is an ABC and that this wave 4 is already in and that this is our wave 4 here. I'm not really like a professional when it comes to Elliott-Wave or fib time analysis and stuff like that, but it just doesn't look right to me. This does not look like a corrective sequence. This whole thing looks like a corrective sequence to me, where I think that maybe we could come up here and test these levels up here around maybe 10.4 or 10.3 one more time, and then come down and retest the bottom of this channel. So if we move in on a smaller time frame here, you can see some of the sub counts that I've got. I've got this as an ABC. I've got this up into an ABC as well. This was more of a flat correction. In terms of flat corrections, while we're on that topic, by the way, this is definitely much more of a flat correction to me. Like you can see even on this 4-hour time frame, I'm sure if I zoom into a 1 hour, I had the sub count for this, but you can tell that this separates into a 5-wave sequence down for a C wave here, and you can tell that this is 3 waves into a B. So this is definitely a flat correction to me. This, on the other hand, this as a flat correction just doesn't really look that way to me. So let's go over and take a look at that labeling that I have. So basically, I've got this whole thing for our wave 5, this whole thing as a giant A, B, and then C coming down over here, which is what I showed you earlier. And then on the smaller scale, I basically have this as an ABC down into a B. And then this definitely subdivides. I think I have the count here on a 1-hour time frame. Do I not? I thought I did. Okay. Well, anyway, regardless, I can actually go ahead and label that now. I know I'm doing this rather quickly. I want to keep these videos a little short and just kind of give you guys an overview. Anyway, that's pretty much what I have here. This would also be another 5-wave sequence down. So that's pretty much how I'm labeling this, and it really works out for right now, at least. And like I said, we definitely stand a really good chance of having just a really long-term correction here. I mean, for all I know, this really does look corrective to me, but this count could be completely invalidated. Like this could end up being some crazy, like WXYXZ, and we get like a lot of really big waves in here or something, and then I end up bringing the interval of all of these other counts to conform to that. But Elliott-Wave theory is really circumstantial, and it's really you just got to be really careful on it. Like you can't trade on it alone, right? You definitely have to make sure that the ideas that you have are confluent with other forms of analysis. By the way, just as a note, if you didn't see my video on tutorials on how to read heat maps, how to use this platform and stuff like that, definitely make sure you check out the video that will be linked on my end screen. So I want to take a look at Coinbase on just the daily chart. And I do have this set relatively low, just because on the daily chart, if you start turning this up, it gets a little too confusing. So I have this just basically set to show major levels right now. I've got this price grouping set to 100. You can clearly see that between $96 and $9,400 is a lot of orders here, and then between 98 and 10,000 there's also a lot of sell orders. So that's why I think that we're probably going to be ranging here for a while, and we're probably going to end up coming down and testing these levels again to soak up some of this liquidity and fill some of these long orders. I think on Binance it pretty much looks the same. Lots of selling volume in here. Ooh, lots of selling volume on the visible range. Yeah, pretty much the same deal. There's a lot between 98 and 10K, and then not so much after 9,000. There's kind of this really big dip in volume down here, which is why I'm kind of worried if all of this liquidity, if all of these limit orders end up getting absorbed, and we end up breaking below down these areas, that there is a really good chance that we could see a lot lower if we break 9,000. So definitely just keep that in mind. So all of that pretty much is, you know, all of that pretty much works out with this analysis, right? You know, I'm expecting maybe we come up, you know, and we test like the 10,100 range again, maybe. But I am expecting to kind of just stay in this little parallel channel that I have drawn here for quite some time. And honestly, I'm kind of okay with that. You know, if we come down and we break below this median line, I'll go ahead and take a short. If we come down, we test this median line again, you know, it looks like we're holding it very well here. We've got wick after wick after wick. There's a lot of liquidity coming up now that we've broken and we're able to stay above this median line. We just had a very yesterday we had a very bearish hammer, or bullish hammer, excuse me, close, and you know, it's looking rather good here. You know, I think that maybe we could see, you know, 10,000 again, you know, to test it on a wick. You know, and if we do that, if we show a lot of support here and we get, you know, maybe one more bullish candle, you know, I might potentially think about taking a long scalp here, you know, and seeing how high we can go. You know, and that's not to say that this count is indefinite. Like I mentioned before, this can definitely get invalidated. We could see some total Bitcoin fuckery where we end up going sideways. We see a throw over of this, and then we come back in. You know, there's a lot that can happen in here. So we just need the price to kind of move on and get some more information before we can actually finalize the count and know exactly where we are. I hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of the week. I will see you guys on Friday, and make sure, like I said, you check out all the links in the description below. There's also a link that you can hit up to get this free PDF version of this book, The Elliott-Wave Principle by Frost and Prechter. So make sure that you check that out. Have a wonderful day. Happy trading.